What's up, everybody? It's your boy WxG coming at you for the AEW Revolution review. And let's not waste any time and get straight into the thing. But first, you know what I need you to do. Play my music. So, we open this thing off with the buy-in with some nice women's action. I'm talking about Riho and Thunder Rosa, the former AEW Women's and NWA Women's Champions, going up against Dr. Britt Baker and who was meant to be her original tag team partner, Reba, who unfortunately was hurt due to Nyla Rose intervention. Instead, teamed with the crowd favorite, new darling of AEW, Maki Ito. This is what we love. We get what we want most of the time, and what we wanted was Maki in AEW. Good call, bringing her in. Not to mention she does have history with both Riho and Thunder Rosa, which I would be more than fine with seeing a feud with Thunder Rosa and Maki Ito just to see the fingers fly. But now let's talk about the in-ring action, where it was a nice technical showing. As with most of these women, they are very great. They are very great technically. The only one really being the oddball out is Maki, but that doesn't take away from her personality, which is gonna be so over once we get crowds back in. When we get crowds back in, that not only will people be singing the songs, but they will be literally leading the chant. She will carry the crowd, and it's going to be amazing. And her in-ring is just fine. I like her story more than anything else. But really, things really picked up for the heels because babyfaces had it all in the beginning. Turned around when Britt Baker, Rebel, started really getting in and getting their point across, leading down to a win for the heels via Rebel crutch shot intervention on Thunder Rosa. Nice, easy win. The match itself was pretty decent. There wasn't any deep investing story, at least not yet, but it did its job done, and I would go ahead and say this gets a nice B+ for me. I wish we could have had a bit more with the way they were doing with the high packages, but it's fine. I can accept it for what it was, and now we get on to the main show. Now, the show was starting off pretty hot, but first, respect to them for actually doing the RIP to Jim Crockett Jr., something that obviously WWE wasn't going to do, was acknowledge someone like Jim Crockett Jr., who was very influential. His family with first and because Jim Crockett Jr. was the one who led WCW through the 80s before being bought out by Turner. So he is a very prominent person, him and his family. That's why whenever the NWA was doing the Crockett Cut, they had that, but that's me talking too much about it. Because get this thing started with a primo match, a match that itself could have main evented the show, but it's not going to. But it could have, is the thing, as we have the AEW Tag Belts on the line. Young Bucks versus the Inner Circle's Maxwell Jacob Freeman and Chris Jericho, Le Champions. And it was a really good match. As to be expected with all the guys into it, the early going in this match was basically the best of the Young Bucks. They were getting in their classic shit, their classic moves, anything that you've seen of them in their high packages or highlight packages online, they were giving. Now, that does not mean that fucking they was running away on MJF and Jericho, who themselves with a nice, slower style, playing spoiler to a lot of the Bucks' hype. And offense, not to mention constantly changing out in the match, keeping themselves more or less on the fresh end as they kept working on each Buck individually for a prolonged period of time. It was solid, it was good. Total Ball Story, Wardlow himself was being a big part in every match as meant to be, but due to most of the circle having shit to do, they couldn't really be in, so at the end of the day, the Bucks managed to pull it out. Now then, I will say there are a few negs to this match that I would give, mostly being really just being like one particular spot that me and my roommate kind of were going back and forth on about whether or not it was a botch or not. Where we saw the first setup for the Meltzer driver go in, where Chris kind of ducked out as Max was holding on Nick, and then Chris was instead in the in the power driver position, but Chris let it flow too fast. Then we saw Nick in his usual flippy roll into the driver assist, kind of laying in front. So I felt like that was a botch. It might not have been, but I'm going to count it as a botch because it looked like it to me. Other than that, the match was fine. I didn't have any problems with the camera working. It was nice, good, solid action. That match for me got an A+ due to the fact that honestly the Bucks have been a part of a feud going up against the Inner Circle when it was the Elite versus the Inner Circle. So that's what I'm going to go ahead and give it on. Could I see more going on with them? I think this is kind of the end of the tag pursuits of Max and Chris. But through this match, we will be having a War Council segment this week on Dynamite to see what's going to go with them. As Chris himself says that there needs to be some changes as their numbers have dropped, but it is very important that they do so. So we'll wait and see how that goes. Moving on, we have the Casino Tag Royale, which instead of doing the normal AEW Diamond Battle Royale setup, it's just going to be a regular Royale setup where it's going to be one team coming in after the other every minute and a half or so, which I don't mind. It works. It does a decent enough job. And honestly, throughout the pace is going fast. I'm not doing eliminations in order. All I'll say was the first man eliminated was 5 of the Dark Order. But the first team to be eliminated were the Seidel brothers, I want to say. Now then, going through this battle royale, it's really looking to say that double down that AEW has a very healthy tag division. They have ample tag teams that can go from lowers to headliners. Definitely. Bear Country, I believe, is officially signed with them. Those are the ones to look out who, in the match, had a segment that leads me to believe we're going to have a Bear Country and a Butcher and Blade feud, which I am definitely looking forward to if that's where we're going to go. With that being said, it was fun. I definitely enjoyed it. Your final 4 teams. By the end of the Rumble itself, you had SCU, represented by Kazarian and Daniels. You had Death Triangle, Penta, and Phoenix still in effect. You also had the Dark Order's 3 and 4, John Silver and Alex Reynolds, which have become beloved by the fans, especially John Silver, and Jurassic Express's Jungle Boy. Now then, through more interaction, it comes down to the final 2 individuals, where we have Phoenix going up against Jungle Boy in a very fun, high-paced exchange, leading in Phoenix, securing the win, meaning that we will be having Death Triangle's Pac. I'm assuming Pac and Phoenix, although they could do the Freebird rule and switch it out with Penta and either combination. But them going up against the Young Bucks for the AEW tag titles at some point, that is going to be exciting. As for the tag team Casino Royale, there were some botches here. A particularly bad one with Uno, who was supposed to be taken out by Marco Stunt, was not taken out by Marco Stunt and literally just rammed into the post. If not for the fact that I watch BTE and I see this man as a funny guy, because I laughed on it, it's still a neg that I'm going to have to penalize this match for. I can't say I had any camera issues in this match, although it was pretty bad in the buy-in, but they got it taken care of. In-ring action, excitement, the results lead me to give this one a nice little B+. I can't say I was bored throughout. I liked it. I got some few developments, possibilities coming up that really got me amped and excited for it. So this is something that I definitely want to keep looking into. I am happy seeing how AEW's tag division continues to grow and change up as we move along. Now we take it backstage where Paul White comes in to make a minor tease about the fact that everybody's asking me about who this new signing is, and not going to play his cards right. He's just like, we'll have to wait and see. And wait and see we do. But we're not there yet. As we go into the AEW Women's Championship match, as we have Shida going up against Ryu Mizunami in a match that I was excited for and most definitely delivered. Now then, I knew going in what Rio was about, and I was like, I know this is going to be built. It's going to be a slow build. It's going to be her being fun, getting her stuff in, the little creeps, and just being a big old bubbly laugh. And it was. I liked it, but Shida very quickly made this a very serious match with them knees. Oh my God. When it started getting serious, the women were going at it. Hard hits, nice slams, fucking Just really great shows of power and strength and durability. These women were going at it, some fierce, son. Like, this is one of the better AEW Women's Championship matches I can say I've seen in recent memory, which they do tend to do on pay-per-views, but I want to see more, a lot more, especially like this. Definitely glad to see the Georgia women coming back in. It's literally bringing a nice bit of life back into AEW Women's Division, which needs a lot more until their young girls, their younger women in development can really come in and take over on their own. This match for me, it was great due to seeing Rio in the tournament and seeing how she's come, and then her going at it with Sheeta and their story, which was told excellently and explained well through commentary, specifically through Excalibur, to know that these women have a very deep history, how strong and how much their spirit showed for this one. And the final, I'm going to give this an A+. I don't think I've given a women's match an A+, probably since the first women's championship match with Rio and Nyla Rose. Is probably the last time I think I gave such a high grade to a women's championship match in AEW. But this was good. Unless I think I did review Sheeta versus Thunder Rosa. It's been a minute, but either way it goes, this is what I want more of. I want great women's matches like this. Hard-hitting, dedicated women doing what women do. It's good. Very good. I no problems in that. That was one of the better matches on the night, and it's good. It was a good night, but this one in particular I was excited for, and I felt they delivered in bulk. This shit. But let's not get into it, because there was a post-match beatdown where after the match, Nyla Rose comes out and begins attacking both champion and challenger, obviously because she was the one who took that L in the tournament finals, and then was quickly joined by Dr. Britt Baker and Reba, and Maki Ito. But afterwards, Thunder Rosa came in to give a big hand, which those women are scared of Thunder Rosa as well as they should, because Rosa's not the one to fuck with. And letting us know that we will be having a 6-women tag match this Wednesday with Rio, Sheeta, and Thunder Rosa. I am for it, but I would like to get another women's match on the card. Please, for the love of God, find a way to get us another women's match on the card. That's it. After that, it's time to get this feud over and done with. Chris Sabin, Miro going up against Chucky T and Orange Cassidy, which they get a very early jump on them boys and fuck them up in the backstage, leading to a very bloody Chucky, who gets brought out into the ring and brutalized for a good bit of time until Orange Cassidy finally comes back, taking Miro out for a while, giving the best friends the opportunity to start mounting something of a comeback, but it didn't mean shit. Once Miro came in, he said everybody is nothing, as he goes in, fucks up Chuck, fucks up Orange, even in the process getting Penelope taken care of. But he went ahead and got to settle with the camel clutch, 1, 2, 3. They won. I don't know if they're winning anything significant. I'm not sure if the best friends are going to kind of be with them, but it looks like now I think that this feud is over, and now we're going to move towards Miro doing Miro things, which is fucking people up and getting in the position he deserves to be in. Definitely main event status. Let's just move on. I'm tired. I'm glad it's done. The story with them I have had little way of giving a fuck about outside of the wedding, so it gets a B for me. No complaints. It was good, quick, and I can't say the right person won, but can't complain about it too much neither. Now then, going from that to one of the most highly anticipated matches of the night, we have the Big Money Match. Hangman Page went up against Matt Hardy for each person's respective first quarter earnings in 2021 in AEW. Now then, I knew because of the limitations that Matt Hardy has, this was not going to be a technically grand match. But with that said, Matt Hardy showing his ring awareness and knowledge skills, his ability to improvise and capitalize, is what honestly made me enjoy this much more. Because going in, Hangman Page, younger, fresher, stronger guy, was dominant in the first goings on. There was no fucking way Matt Hardy was going to match in power, in agileness. We're not talking about a young Matt. We're not talking about a particularly stronger Matt. We're talking about current Matt Hardy and his tenacity as Big Money Matt. not more than anything else, was really him showing his ability to take an opportunity and milk it for everything it has. As Hangman Page, being very dominant in the early goings, got his hand damaged, and Matt did not let up, not 1 inch. And even after working that hand for so long, when Hangman Page was starting out his comeback, the damage to the hand was literally working as a double-edged sword. It's like he's getting the advancement, but he's also hurting himself more in the process, not getting full power on strikes, clotheslines, and even making it a bit difficult for some setups. Which then, it goes into a bit more of a competitive match, maybe a little bit too competitive for what Matt should be capable of doing, but nothing that I can honestly say there was complaints about. And obviously, Matt was going to need him some of this, so Isaiah Cassidy and Mark Quinn came in to give him a little bit of the aid, and it looks like they were going to do and get shit done, and then Matt just said, fuck everything, get in, get this dude, only for the Dark Order to come in for this, says take both of them out, and even help Hangman in the final stretch whenever he was looking to go get taken down, to catch him, similar to the previous Dynamite ring that Maxwell has. Whenever they helped assist him up, I like the call back, goes to the buckshot, gets it 1, 2, 3. With the quick story that was being built, the fun, the happy ending of everybody hugging at the end, the right man won. It was actually very entertaining all the way through, in my opinion. This is going to get an A+ from me all around with nothing to complain about. It was good, a great match. Like I said, in ring, no, but really seeing Matt Hardy's psychology on display, him being a veteran in this game, watching, Hangman in the night, grouped up with the Dark Order by his side of his friends, I couldn't help it. It gets that for me. Now then, we go into another of the major matches for the night, as we have the Faces of TNT ladder match, where we have Cody Rhodes, Lance Archer, Scorpio Sky, Penta El Zero Miedo, Max Caster, who only got in because of Matt Hardy intervention, and then All Ego Ethan Page, who was officially All Elite, coming in for his debut match, and my God, this was a very good match. I cannot say I have any complaints on a technical level. All the camera work was on point. I know the commentary throughout the night did a damn good job. Probably should have gave my boy J.R. lozenge or some cough drop something before the night started, or some third or some warm tea or something like that. But still, in this match in particular, every man came out looking great, looking better than I said winning. I would say the one that really got a good bit of showing was probably Max Caster, because he's probably he's the lesser known guy in the match. I would say alongside All Ego Ethan Page, but a lot of the guys who watch AEW are more than familiar with Impact and have checked it out more than a few times to know that he's pretty solid. And even if we didn't know, him in the ring was fucking great. He has such potential to be a much bigger star in AEW than he was in Impact. So I'm excited to see it, but this match, it was fast paced, non-stop action damn near. Some points where I felt like, and me and my roommate were complaining that, they were doing a slow climb, which we're not big fans of, but it was only briefly, as later on there were much quicker climbs going in. Every man really scrambling. The only thing that I personally have to complain about in that match is going to be surprising. It's Cody Rhodes. Now, y'all know I love me some Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes is one of my favorite wrestlers in the world today. Why do I have a problem with Cody Rhodes in this match? Well, the problem came down to the fact, early on, Cody had that one spot that annoys the shit out of me. Whereas like a guy's in a match and he gets injured, something like a battle royale or a multi-man match. He gets injured, gets taken aback. Okay, cool. Go to the back, just fucking stay out of it. And I was like, all right, cool. We got Cody Rhodes out of here. That means that we can focus on the other 5 guys, because Cody Rhodes does not need to be going for that TNT belt right now. I don't need him near that title. Stay the fuck out of it. Find a way to get him into the main event, but keep him away from the TNT belt. I am just saying. So when he came back later on, I didn't like it. I just personally did not like it. Still though, every man looked great. Archer still looked like a monster, giving me some great ha-ha moments. Penta, it's fucking Penta, and my roommate was going for Penta. I was like, you know what? If Penta wins, I wouldn't be mad at it, but I was really putting my initial eggs in the basket for Scorpio Sky. And thankfully, Scorpio was the one to grab the brass rings to win the match. As he deserves. He very much deserved it, but every man put on in this match. It was all great. Like I said, the only thing I didn't like was Cody. Cody had to come back. Cody should stay the fuck gone. But with that said, that match from me gets an A-, only because of Cody. Sometimes you just gotta know when to stay out, Cody. Now then, the time has arrived. Who is AEW's Hall of Fame worthy signing? And it's a guy that a lot of people who were talking about it would dismiss so easily. As Captain Charisma is all elite. Christian Cage signed on the dotted line to pretend to be a part of AEW, and honestly, I can see him having great matches. Only not with the younger guys. Let him go. To put on a slower, more old school style, something a little bit safer, but still exciting, old school story building. And I can definitely see him being a great asset to their youngest that are coming up, their talents in development. It definitely will help. There is no negatives to the signing. Now, obviously, if you're a WWE guy, you're probably like, this is bullshit. They're just doing the same thing that TNA did back in the day, signing all the fucking WWE's left outs. Guess the fuck what? WWE ain't signed him for shit. Creative couldn't come up with shit for him. Nothing. And I'm pretty sure this man wants to wrestle. Obviously, the AEW can have it to where they can have guys in a situation such as Sting and Christians have a nice, safe match. You don't believe me? Well, we'll get into it in the next one. Actually, not the next one. We'll get into it now because now we're talking about the street fight. Team FTW, Brian Cage and Britt start going up against Sting and Darby in the street fight cinematic, which it was shot very well. I mean, we all saw and predicted it. But what I love the smooth transitions going in. You would almost think that for the they shot it so well. I would have almost thought that it was all one go. And I believe it was majority single shot takes with small peppers in. And it was very fucking exciting, especially early on when Darby was thrown to the ropes, springboarded off the ropes, up on the wall. Looked like he climbed it real quick to fall back into Cage, who caught him and slammed him, but literally watching that got me so hyped for what this match was gonna be. And it was good. It was really good. It didn't look tacky. It was professional as hell. The intro cinematics was nice, as to be expected from what Darby is with his creative ass. Him and Sting coming out with sharing the half face paint. It's literally the father and son story that we didn't get in WWE. But no, the way they went about it, transition from location to location, how they prepped in advance with certain spots that they did, worked it well. Obviously, we're gonna get Team Taz in full effect coming through and interfering. But with that being said, that did not stop Darby from putting himself on the line, taking out the biggest threat. Sting getting the bat, eliminating the extra threat, and then going in and having a quickie in the ring to close it out with Absolute Ricky Starks, who again I can see can be very big in AEW's future. Coming in to secure his win with a Scorpion Death Drop, hit the 1, 2s, and 3s. Great. I loved the match. It was fine for me. This actually is the only match that I'm going to give the S grade to. Yes, this was honestly perfect. I couldn't imagine it being any better than what it was. Now that if we actually do get Sting in a regular in-ring match, I would love to see it. But I'm also fine if we don't. If we have it to where this is the bulk of Sting's in-ring career, and he goes out like this, he's earned it. And then just being a major personality on Dynamite works well in my opinion as well. Now then, it's time for the main event. The exploding barbed wire death match. What can I say? This match was as brutal as I could be expected. I'm talking, the teasing early on was getting me so excited for what we were going to get, waiting to see who was going to hit first, where John Moxley was the first man to hit the barbed wire explosion. And after getting his legs worked up on a little bit by Kenny, decided that he was going to give Kenny 2 for his mistakes. Then we go into, a regular slugfest, beat him up to see who was going to, get fucked up. Now then, And I believe at the last 10-minute mark, we got a blaring sound of music pulsating, which for my roommate, he didn't find it enjoy. But me, I actually liked the signifier how much more serious. As that happened, the pace increased as both men, mostly Moxley, begins fighting for who was going to get the quick win to finish it, leading to both men getting shocked through the last part of the ring, which led to the setup of the triple hell on the outside, where once again both men crashed through, with Kenny getting the worst of that particular spot, and both men by this point having solid crimson masks on one another. Now then, it looks like Moxley, in his own element, is finally going to be able to take care of business. Is going to clean house, but as to be expected, the god dang Good Brothers come in and interfere. They just can't mind their own fucking business, and unfortunately end up costing Moxley the match. But not before being the first person outside of Kota Ibushi years ago at a DDT show, being the first man to kick out the one wing angle. And he not like he even really kicked it out. It's when he was getting pinned in, so he dropped the leg on the ring, on the ropes to get it to go off in Kenny's eyes, blinding him for a bit. And then next thing you know, woof. Once again, Good Brothers come in, second one wing angel, that's it. Kenny Omega retains. On top of that, we get a post-match beatdown where, as they're going into the final minute, as they've been beating the shit out of Mox and then handcuffing them, they're gonna leave as it's about to count down, when Eddie Kingston comes from the back with his family to try and save Moxley. He comes there, he covers him, everything. He's trying to get him up, but he's not going. Ducks them. Now it's time for the explosion. Now, there's a reason why I haven't talked about the explosions heavily right now in this match so far, because what this shit was a fucking travesty. The explosions themselves were not internal explosions, they were external. So basically what I'm saying is that when one of the men hit the rope, it exploded, but the explosion was on the outside instead of the inside. And oh my God, I'm glad the match was as brutal as it was, because that right there fucking takes away the deathmatch feel to it. Kenny Omega apparently designed this ring. You are shitty. Don't you ever do it again. If you want a good professional barbed wire exploding deathmatch ring, you need to let the professionals do it, Kenny, because this is bullshit. Especially triple hell on the outside. I was disappointed, insulted as a fan to see it. Oh, if more people could, they would shit on it. But nonetheless, out that match, in-ring action, the way it went, how it ended, as to be expected, I'm gonna give it an A-. It could have been great if only would have stuck to what you need in a proper barbed wire deathmatch, but we didn't get that. But that's me overly nitpicking. I'm fine with how it went. It was a good night of action. It was not. It delivered in brutality. That's what I expected. But I feel like their first exchange in the Lights Out match was way more brutal. This was just okay. And with that said, we bring this video to an end. It's very long, I know, I'm sorry. But y'all know how I am when I really love what I'm talking about. And then going out, the final grade for the night for me is gonna be an A-. A-. Yes. With no part of this card that I can say was lacking or disappointing. It all basically went about as well as I felt that as well as it could have gone. The only real disappointments outside of Cody in the six-man ladder match, camera angles in the buy-in, which was a fuck up that kind of got to me, and then the ending with the fucking bullshit ass explosions. It's literally what hurts me from just even giving this a solid A or even an A+. Well, a solid A. It's got to get the A- because the negs were things I couldn't avoid. But still, in the list, it was a great card. Like, you can watch this, enjoy it for the most part. If you avoid the end of that, if you want to show this to somebody, you can, and it wouldn't be too problematic. But with that being said, it's time for this night to come to a close. Thank you for watching the video, for the review. I know it's long as hell, but for good reason. It was long. It was a lot to talk about. But I gotta get going. Y'all have a good evening. And please like, share, subscribe. Talk to me in the comments if you feel like you have something. Give me some positive feedback or negative feedback. Let me know where I can do better or where I'm fucking up, man. I don't get better unless y'all talk to me. And if you're coming in, checking it out, and you happen to enjoy it, please do subscribe. Anyway, y'all have a good one. I'm out. Peace.